Hello everyone, welcome back to one of our virtual safaris here on Madikwe Game Reserve. We're going to be heading down to the south again this time, just to follow up on a few of the animals that we've been featuring on our safaris. And here we've come across a nice herd of buffalo. We've been noticing quite a lot of animal behavioral changes now that the reserves are quite quiet. A lot of the more skittish animals, or animals that prefer thickets and that are starting to venture out and explore surrounding areas and be so in a much calmer manner. The Cape buffalo is quite a formidable animal, and it's quite large, getting up to 800 to 900 kilograms for bulls, and females 550, 700 kilograms around there. That's anything from 660 to 1900 pounds. So it's quite a hefty animal. What's quite interesting is that they actually have very smooth tongues as well, so it helps them with grazing. A little bit of history on the Cape buffalo. A lot of them have evolved from much smaller ancestors that entered Africa, 5 to 6 million years ago. The status of the buffalo is also in a little bit of a decline over the past few years due to the battle for land and livestock, of course, consuming most of their habitat. We dive a little deeper into the Cape buffalo's history, going back to the 1890s with the Great Rinderpest outbreak, also known as the cattle plague. And this viral disease took the majority of Africa's livestock populations as well as wildlife populations such as buffalo, giraffe and wildebeest. They estimate 500,000 buffaloes succumbed to rinderpest during this time, leaving a very small population in South Africa to repopulate the numbers we have today. Here we've got some yellow-footed squirrels sunbathing, kind of warming up. It's quite a chilly morning. So squirrels have been around on the African continent for around 20 million years. And the African bush squirrel is part of a genus of squirrels that consist of 11 different species, one of which is the Smith's bush squirrel, also known as the yellow-footed squirrel or just the tree squirrel. Like most squirrels, they are diurnal, active during the day. Their diet is largely vegetarian, but also, like most other rodents, can consume insect prey as well. They eat seeds and nuts, from which they derive most of their proteins, carbohydrates and fats from. And during winter times, this is when they start hoarding those nuts and seeds. This is known as scatter hoarding. And this distributes seeds, so not all of them get retrieved or eaten during the winter. And come springtime, new sprouts will often appear where squirrels have buried their winter food stashes. Little bit of insight into these three females. They belong to a part of six females comprising of this group. And interestingly enough, one of the females that aren't here at the moment with these three, being dubbed Mika, she's 19 years old. And considering the average lifespan of between 10 and 14 years, she's done pretty well for herself. And this female here walking towards us is actually one of Mika's daughters, and she herself is approaching 13 years old. So yeah, quite a nice lineage here in Madikwe. So we were driving along, and in the distance we actually spotted this female, but she looked like she had something next to her and with her, quite small. And there you go, we have a couple of cubs. So this is quite cool. I haven't seen these cubs yet before, because they quite far into the south of the reserve. But it's quite nice to see how they're doing and actually growing up quite nicely. Looking at the size and the fact that they're kind of mobile with their mum, kind of gives us an estimated age of around 10 to 12 weeks, give or take. And yeah, with lion cubs and most other cat species, they're born artificial, meaning that they are very vulnerable and require their mother's care at birth, and are born blind. And their eyes will only open up after 3 to 11 days, depending, and are born at a weight of 1.5 kilograms. The weaning process, so it starts at 10 weeks and then continues up to 10 months, but usually within 6 months they are fully weaned. They'll start to feed on meat within 3 months, so go between milk and meat until they're fully weaned. A lot of the cubs will actually start to develop their hunting and stalking skills at a very young age through what is known as exaggerated playful behavior, and that is with siblings as well as with adults. They help hone their skills at crouching and stalking and pouncing and so forth like that, and they normally achieve their hunting skills at 2 years old. So these cubs still have quite a few years of learning and development and growing to do. With lions, they will reach a fully grown maturity at anything from 3 to 5 years, depending on their skills and development. As you're all aware, lions are probably one of the most social members of the cat family, living in prides of probably up to 25 to 30 in bigger areas. Here in Madikwe, our pride structures are normally up to 6 females and then 1 or 2 males. So not as big as some of the prides that you can get. However, still very social and very protective over their cubs. You can see this female looking around, potentially looking to prey upon something, and making sure there's no danger for her cubs. She's chosen a nice thick area just to keep herself hidden. A lot of activity taking place around this area. This brown hyena is milling around, potentially waiting for this female cheetah to hunt, because he can easily push her off and steal the kill. This impala knows something's up. They're just not sure. I think she spotted those herd of impala behind us, and she's probably going to have an attempt at hunting. Probably going to go past us and then get into a cover. As you can see, she's wasting no time at getting into the hindquarters of this young impala. She knows that she needs to eat quite quickly. She's seen a brown hyena in the area, and with all the alarm calling and the disturbance of the kill would definitely attract other unwanted visitors. So she's very vigilant, feeding as quickly as possible. I'm pretty sure she's going to get up, and she's most likely going to move this into a shadier spot. She's quite out in the open at the moment. Thank you everyone for joining us yet again on one of our virtual safaris here in Madikwe Game Reserve, and we'll see you next time.